Hello guys, it is actually the third time that I'm trying to record this video. I keep censoring myself, so I want to start with this important disclaimer. You know that I don't judge people in the United States for the choice of their president, and I do not evaluate the administration of America. But as a Ukrainian, I have a right to react to the message of Donald Trump in which he actually thanked Putin and also highlighted that both of them agree on the importance of the common sense, and two teams start working, and he will inform President Zelensky about that. Do I feel betrayed at this moment? Yes. Do I feel worried? Yes. And not just about Ukraine, but about Europe and the world. Because this greatly resembles this Munich conference in 1938, and the fact that new Munich conference is coming makes it even more, dramatic. And I do have a feeling that Article 5 may be broken sometime soon, NATO may be broken sometime soon. So our task is to remain determined, united, and those of you who still believe justice is possible and evil must be punished and not praised with new territories and, no sanctions, please let's unite and stay together. Difficult times are coming. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see a strong nation that fights for its future and protects the democracy in the world that seems to have forgotten about this, subscribe and like the video and share them. I know that many of you feel bad and worried and anxious just as I am, and this is another reason why we should unite. And please let me know in the comments below, those of you who think that it is a smart move of Trump, how should I react, how should I understand, and what is behind that. Personally, I think that those of you who support Ukraine and support this kind of messages sent by Trump actually follow the same mistake that Ukrainians did in 2022. And you have introduced me to the term normalcy bias, when in some abnormal behavior you try to find a logical explanation and calm yourself down when there is actually none. So coming back to the things that offend me or makes me feel worried, first of all, a number of times that Trump repeated he thanked President Putin. President Putin is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, for the destruction of many Ukrainian schools and hospitals, for the destruction of Kakhovka Dam, for Bucha and Irpin. And he is definitely not a person to thank on public, and this way to legitimize him and bring him out of his isolation to the top of the global politics. I am sure, of course, people in Russia applaud this message, and no, there are no excuses or explanations to that. Also, I do not clearly understand how can we use a term common sense and Putin in one sentence. Is looting, raping, torturing, killing, stealing children now known as common sense? Also, it all started with a ballistic missile targeting Kyiv today, and all in the preparation of this telephone call between Putin and Trump, killing a man in Kyiv, in the capital of the largest European country. I wonder, did they discuss that? What is also interesting during these negotiations that were like telephone calls, you may not call it negotiations, but this conversations, there was no General Kellogg. I know many believe he was just like this common sense in the process. I personally think that he is out, or maybe he was a kind of a distractor, because he is a very respected man. It will be interesting to see what happens next, but when you read the message shared by Trump after his call with Zelensky, which happened after his conversation with Putin, not before, you will see that he is not on the list of people with whom Zelensky will talk in the Munich conference sometime soon. These are Rubio, these are Walz, but no Kellogg. Subscribe to see to see how dangerous the world is getting. And I know that those who are like super blind think that Trump has just avoided the Third World War, when I believe if it goes like that, if nothing changes in the process, this is the start of the Third World War. We will see. I'm not trying to exaggerate. I don't want it. Trust me, I live 3 years in the time of war. For Ukraine, I think what we've heard today from the head of the Pentagon is very bad before the start of the negotiations, because there were open promises not to let Ukraine in NATO, and also that Ukrainian borders as of 1991 is unrealistic. You didn't even start negotiations and you gave up everything. So what is going to be at stake? And don't tell me this is a smart move in negotiations to follow Putin's dreams. Those of you who read, study the situation in my part of the world clearly know that NATO was never a danger to Putin. It was a problem to continue invading nations. But when Ukraine is not in NATO and like everybody promises, like Putin, that never it will happen, it will be easier for him to continue. But I think he also noticed that his propaganda about the weakness of the West may be true. And let me know in the comments below, do you believe that in case of necessity, when something minor happens, let's say to the countries of Baltic, NATO will react? I think no. I am sorry, but at this moment, I think no. No, Article 5 will work for any NATO member. What is bad if after killing thousands, after torturing, after this unprovoked aggression and broken international laws, Putin will be praised with new Ukrainian territories and a promise that Ukraine is not in NATO? Tell me please, what will stop him from going to Poland or the Baltics? Also, please, those of you who believe this is a beginning of a long, prosperous, peaceful period, count the number of brigades in NATO and Russia. Also count the number of people he can mobilize when capturing more of the Ukrainian territories. And also think about this like real war experience compared to some outdated trainings that some armies in the West actually never did. So I feel worried for the world. It reminds me 1938, and once again, if I'm wrong, I don't want to offend anyone. I'm sure you can hear that, and I understand that our community is definitely for peace and support of each other and justice and victory, but you have to understand me, how I feel the moment I read the President of the United States thanks Putin. The world is in trouble. What I can tell you, that we are a strong country and a strong nation. Sometimes I think one of the strongest on the planet. And we surprised you in 2022. I'm sure we will surprise you in 2025. No one is prepared to surrender, but it will be difficult because, you know, Russia will also use this propaganda that the West abandoned you. The West does not want you in NATO. The West does not support you in this or that. The West did not defend you. And I know this is a part of Russian propaganda, but this is also true. This is also true. We deserve. I'm not talking about Budapest Memorandum even. And what made it very, I don't know what's the word for that, but it was very unpleasant for me to know that at the moment when Trump was talking with Putin, Zelensky was talking with the US Minister of Finance about Ukraine's rare earth minerals, because because we don't count the demilitarization of Ukraine, Budapest Memorandum, violation of international agreements, and just like human life and justice, we talk about Ukraine's rare earth minerals. While we talk about common sense between Trump and Putin. I will read all the comments today. Those of you who believe in Trump, don't get offended. I will be very happy if I'm mistaken. But I have all the reasons, and multiplied by my Ukrainian experience and my previous mistakes, to try and find some explanation for really bad things happening around. So I do have a right to be worried. Join me on X, it's really hard and toxic there. Join me on Blue Sky, I'm happy that our community is growing fast. Maybe that will be our emigration safe place in times of the Third World War. Join me on Instagram, on Threads. We have a beautiful Discord community where you can find a lot of kind people who believe in Ukraine. Check the merch shop, we have good sales there for St. Valentine's Day, but I literally forgot about that. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. And most importantly, thank you for your continued support of Ukraine. We need that, and maybe we can change this very wrong direction. Slava Ukraini!